welcome back to another video on my channel. So as you can see from the title and thumbnail, we're going to be doing tortoise shell today because it is that time of year again. It's come round finally after, I'm sorry to those who love summer, but I have been waiting for this for what feels like forever. So, you know, just, I was happy for you and it was summer, be happy for me, now it's not. So we're going in with, I'm just going to show you the products we're using first. So I'm going to be using black ombre gel. You don't have to use jelly gel for the black. You can just use full black. I'm just using this because I never use it and I might as well. So that's the only reason for that. And then I'm going to be using French Toast, which, oh, if I could actually get the lid to open, is this beautiful brown shade. And then I'm also going to be using Tiramisu, which is a brown jelly gel. You can make this if you don't have a brown jelly. You can just use a normal brown. So I could use French Toast and just put some what's it called in it? What is it called? Oh my god, clear gel, that's what I'm trying to say. So we're gonna go straight in. I've already popped my peel off base coat on, of course, and oh sorry, and the last one I'm going to be using is this one, but it doesn't actually have the name on it. Is Coulis de Caramel, I think, is what I can just about make out. This one is basically just like a very barely there colour. Like, as you can see, it's not really that dark, which is what we want. So this is going to be my base colour, and I'm just going to do one coat of this. So Tortoise is all about the layers. That is what you sort of need with tortoise shell, basically, is to create depth with layers. And that is why the jelly gels are good, because of course you can see through them, and that is the whole point. You can see different layers and colours coming through, so that is why we need the gels, the jelly gels, sorry. But again, they don't have to be like jelly gels that come as jellies. You can make jelly gels quite easily. You can also do whatever sort of colour scheme you want to do for tortoise shell. I've seen some that are like more of a yellow base than this. I've saw some that are more of a red base. You can basically do whatever you want. Like, I saw the blondie ones as well that are really light. Like, do whatever your heart desires. But this is what my heart desires, and this is the products I've got. So that's just happened to be what we're doing. So I'm going to fully cure that for a full cure, basically. And then I'm going to keep that to one side, and I'm going to apply my next colour, which is Tiramisu, because this one is quite dark. It doesn't look any different really in the bottle, but you'll see when I apply that it is darker. So I'm just applying this as a base colour. You could just go into this with your colours if you want to, instead of doing it like layers on layers. But yeah, this is just what I'm doing, so let's just go with it. So I'm going to go in again. Right, so now we're going in with Tiramisu, like I said. No, I'm not. I lied. Sorry. I'm going in with French Toast, which is my proper brown colour. So I'm leaving the tacky layer on my gel because I sort of want that for this to sort of blend. And I'm going in with a brush. I'm not going to use that brush, actually. I'm going to use this one. You can do whatever you want. You can use dotting tool, brush, whatever you like. Just go for it. So I'm going in with my French Toast now, and I'm just going to create some patches of that. You can do them as big or as small as you like. I'm going to do a mixture of all of them on each nail so they all look different. And then we'll see how they all look different on each nail. So this one, I'm going to do lots of smaller patches instead, so you can see how they sort of compare. We're just creating really random shapes. Don't put too much effort into it. Don't think it through too much. I actually find that tortoise shell seems to go better, like the less like thought you put in, least effort, least stress, just go for it and see how you get on. Okay. And then I'm going to do, again, I'm going to do some smaller ones in this one. And we're going to do a big piece here. I've literally not done tortoise shell for about a year now. It was definitely like this time. Well, no, it wasn't even this time last year, because that was when I was off on maternity. So it's actually been 2 years. It's been 2 autumns, because I wasn't working last autumn. So again, just completely random with the patches. And then again on here, I'm doing all 4 full cover just so you can get the gist of it. I do like this brush because it's sort of, even if you tried to make it a bit neater, like you can't really, because this brush is really good for just like the messy random designs, which is handy because that is exactly what we need for tortoise shell. So this is where we're at so far. We're going to pop that into the lamp for a full cure, and then once we come out, that is when I'm going to put my coat of tiramisu over the top, and then we're going to blend some black into that gel. And that layer of tiramisu is going to really help blend it all together because, like I said, it is darker. You can't really tell in the bottles. They look very similar. But there's a lot. I've just painted a little bit on my palette. As you can see, that is one I've already applied. That's the one we're about to apply. There is a lot of difference between them. And then, of course, this black is a jelly black, but you wouldn't really know it because it's, oh gosh, it is quite pigmented for a black jelly. But it is jelly, so it works quite well because it blends really nicely. So we're out of the lamp again. I'm going to make sure I've got the right colour. Yeah, so we've got tiramisu, and I'm just going to do a coat of that over the entire nail, like so. In fact, that might even be too dark. Well, no, not necessarily too dark, just a bit too pigmented, but we'll see because it's all about layers and blending. So we'll get the black on, we'll see how we look, and if I don't like it, we'll just wipe it off and we'll go in with another layer of the caramel colour instead. So with the black, where's my brush gone? Here. We're going to go in the same sort of way as we did with the brown, but just smaller patches basically. We don't want to obviously cover up the entirety of the brown that was just applied because that would be an absolute waste of time. So we're just going to go in with the black now, and I'm purposely putting this into that layer of gel this time instead of on top of cured because I want it to spread out a bit more, because the black is of course going to be quite harsh for obvious reasons, like it's black. The darkest colour you can sort of get, but as you can see, it brings it all together. So I'm going to just leave that one to keep sort of blooming because that's what is going to happen with it being applied onto a wet layer of gel. You can use blooming gel for this as well, but I just think it's an extra layer of gel that isn't really needed because we've already got a few layers going on here. So if you can just apply it straight into a wet gel and get the same effect, then you might as well miss out a coat. I'm just going to apply this to all of the nails now. I know that I actually like it and want to use it. I was just sort of using that index nail as a bit of a guinea pig. But I am happy with how it looks. Oh, I was wondering how long it would take me to make a mess. Where's my ring finger? I'll just get that off. My stomach is making some pretty strange noises. Just going to clean that up with my brush because it's looking a bit untidy. There we go. And then again, in with my tiramisu shade again. And then just going to go in with black again. So just getting some on my brush, painting on some random patches around where I've applied the brown already. So this, I'm just going to apply in between those two patches. So like that black patch is for both of those, if that makes sense. This is what we look like so far. Do a bit up here as well. And this is what we're looking like so far. Very, very pretty. Then we're going to pop that into the lamp-free full cure. And then all I'm going to do for my layer on top of all this is I'm going to go back in with that caramel colour, which is the original colour we used for the base. The lighter of the two brown jellies I'm going to use this time. So if I was using just one brown and a clear for this sort of design, I would just create two. Maybe add a tiny smidge of black into one, because obviously you're using black anyway, so you've got a black. And then you could basically make two different colours with the same two colours, if that makes sense. So you've got your black, you've got your brown, make a slightly darker one, and then just add your clear into both of them to make them both jelly gels basically. And then once we've done that, we're literally just got to top with that brown colour again. You don't have to do that, you could just leave it how it is now and just top coat, or you know, you can do whatever you want. But I'm going to add a little bit of gold detail just because the gold is already on my desk because I've just used it for another video, and I'm really loving gold at the moment. I don't really usually like it, so I'm just sort of going with it and making the most of that at the minute. So let's just pop a coat of this on, see whether I want it or not, because if not, I'll just leave it. But this is the good thing about it, because it's all just layers. You can just keep going and then just see how you get on and what you like and what you don't. And because every layer is cured, if you don't like one, you can just wipe it off and everything underneath will still be as it was. But yeah. And even though there's lots of, well, there's not that many layers, but even though there is a few different layers, like because you do have those like full coverage colour layers between all of your like patches and stuff, you don't end up with lumpy bumpy nails, which is good. Like you can tell here they're all just completely smooth, which is great. So I'm going to pop that into the lamp free full cure, and then I'm going to go in with my gold. So I'm not going to use an actual gold chrome because it's just a ball ache, to be honest with you. Like I really love the way it looks, but it's such a pain in the ass that I can't be bothered with the prepping for the isolated chrome and all that sort of stuff. So we're just going to use a metal gel that is in a pot. I have mentioned a few times, but if you haven't seen my videos before, you won't know, but I have mixed some gold chrome into this as well, just to make it a little bit more gold, because it wasn't as gold as I wanted it. So this is not how it came, but it was still really nice when it came, to be fair. It just was a bit more muted, which, if that's what you're looking for, would have been perfect for you, but I wasn't looking for that. So I've popped a bit of gold chrome in there and just mixed it in. Helps when doing dots and stuff as well, because it's a bit more like, I still have to stir it, but it's just a bit more pigmented basically, so it's a bit more obvious for the detail. So I'm just going to clean this dotting tool because I've made a right mess of it with that. And then I'm going to go in with my striker brush. I'm just going to get a little bit of this gel and pop it on the palette next to me. It's just out of shot. And then we're going to go in and apply it. So I'm just going to do like a nice gold border around the nail, but I'm not going to do it like perfect and actually do it like properly, if that makes sense. I'm just doing it completely randomly, and we're going to do that on all of them just to give it a bit of something extra. And I just feel like gold really doesn't really go with that much. So when I do a design with gold, when I do a design that would go with gold, I always feel like I have to make the most of it and just use it basically. But I just feel like a bit of gold detail never did anyone any harm, did it? So let's just do that. I'm purposely doing like wiggly lines. I don't want it to look like we're trying to get it perfect, because we're not. We're going for more like the abstract-y sort of look. I'm just creating some random like off lines as well, just to really lean into the random sort of effect. Different thickness and everything. I'm doing it really quickly because the longer I tend to like take to do things, the more I end up not liking it at the end. And then I end up really annoyed that I don't like it because it took me so long. So if I do things quick and don't like it, it doesn't matter because I've not really wasted that much time on it. I can just wipe it off and do it again really quick. If I spend ages on it and hate it, then it just feels like a massive waste of time. So that's my logic for that. But anyway, here is what we've turned out with. I absolutely love these. They are beautiful. So I'm going to pop those into the lamp for a full cure. And then once they come back out, I will top coat off camera because it's not going to change the way they look because they're already shiny. Pop a bit of oil on and then we can see how they turn out. Okay, so here is the finished look. I absolutely love how they've turned out and just look how easy that was. I mean, the video is 16 minutes so far and I did faff about for quite a while of it as usual, but you know, it literally did take me that long. Like, I've not really done that much off camera for this, and it really is that easy. Like, as long as you've got the right products that you can use, this is honestly probably one of the quickest, easiest designs you could possibly do. Whereas I used to dread when people asked for this because it just looked so difficult and so many layers and stuff, but it's all those layers that just bring it together, and it makes it super, super easy. You don't really have to do anything, and I really love how the gold looks. It really just sets it off. So yeah, I hope this video was helpful and you enjoyed it. I'm just going to take a few pictures of these nails and then we need to peel them off, which is a bit sad to be honest, because I actually really love them. Okay, I've got my photos, so they're coming off, which I am sad about, but you know, gotta make room for some new designs. Wow, look at that. Super easy that was. Very satisfying. Let's see if we can... Oh my god, that little tiny bit doesn't count. Okay, we're just going to pretend we didn't see that. See, this is another good thing about all the layers of Tortoise. They come off super easy when using a peel-off base comb. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back very soon with another video. Bye!